KG's departure from VCHA caught fans off guard, but what truly shook everyone was the claim she made about JYP's US division. Now she has laid all the accusations out clearly, backing it all up with solid evidence, and with that kind of proof, JYP is now facing a serious situation that's difficult to ignore or explain away. While her legal battle with JYP Entertainment is still ongoing, KG decided to speak out publicly. In a recent online post, she shared a Google Drive of her court document and screenshots to support her claims of mistreatment during her time in VCHA. Among the files was a trail of evidence that painted a concerning picture of how injuries within the group were handled. According to the document, several members, including KG, were injured around mid-September 2023. One had back and hip pain, another twisted an ankle, and KG herself tore a tendon in her shoulder on September 14th. But instead of being allowed to rest, she says she was forced to repeat the same move over and over again, up to 100 times, by a dance instructor referred to as BM, who is believed to be Lee Bowman. She wasn't given time to rest, nor was she allowed water during the practice. It took 2 days for anyone in the company to arrange medical attention, not just for her, but for the other members as well. When they finally visited the hospital on September 16th, all of them received injections. KG says she was never told what was in the shot. She included a photo from her camera roll showing herself in a hospital gown that same day, along with receipts from the visit and a close-up of her shoulder showing a vaccine mark where she says the injury happened. Despite all this, KG claims JYP's US team showed no concern for her condition. She added a screenshot from a video dated just 2 days after her hospital trip, showing that the company still had her working, injured or not. Another photo in her post shows her passed out on the floor before a morning lesson on September 26th. According to her, the lack of sleep and non-stop training had pushed her to the edge, and she came to a point where she was so worn out that staying upright had become impossible. KG's leg injury came next, this time in November 2023. And just like before, she says the response from JYP was pretty much the same, dismissive. Though she did receive multiple injections and some form of treatment, rest wasn't an option. The situation got so serious that doctors stepped in and warned her about muscle damage caused by overworking. They clearly told her to stop dancing and take time off, but that didn't happen. Despite the medical advice, JYP staff reportedly pushed her to keep going, brushing aside the severity of the injury. To back it all up, KG shared a photo dated November 23rd showing visible marks on her leg from the treatment. She also included a screenshot from a video file showing her dancing just a day later, proof that she was still being made to work right after getting medical attention. Things didn't stop getting worse. In December 2023, KG suffered yet another injury, this time to her hip. It became serious enough to cause internal bleeding, reportedly from repeatedly doing a move that involved lying on the floor. Even then, she says JYP staff didn't step in to give her a break. Instead, according to the court filing, she was still being made to work over 60 hours a week. The environment was intense. The girls were often pressured to stay late, afraid they would be labeled lazy or not dedicated enough. One of the members was in charge of telling the staff when rehearsals would end, which only added more pressure. Back in November, KG says she pushed herself even harder just to keep up. Staff told her to match the level of Korean trainees who had stayed as late as 1 a.m., so she agreed. That day, she ended up training from 10:30 in the morning to 11 at night. More messages revealed just how deep the pressure from staff really went. On November 28th, 2023, KG had a conversation with one of the members who said the company had told them that anyone who didn't stay in practice as long as KG was simply being lazy. This made the rest of the group feel they had no choice but to stay late too, even when it crossed healthy limits. That same chat showed how the pressure started affecting their relationships. The member asked KG if she minded when others left practice earlier and worried that doing so made them bad teammates. It was clear the environment was making them feel guilty for setting boundaries, and possibly pitting them against each other. In another conversation, KG asked the members if they knew their schedule for the next week. Alex Huang, a JYP staff member, had asked her what she planned to do, and KG was worried that leaving practice early would make her look bad. She admitted she wanted to leave when the others did, but was scared Alex might be upset. One of the girls told her not to worry since they were already staying late anyway. Still, KG felt unsure. She said she was slower than the rest and needed more time, and feared Alex might report her to the company or label her as lazy if she didn't push herself harder. One member tried to comfort her, saying she just needed more time for the moves to sink in, but the anxiety clearly hadn't gone away. One of the clearest signs that things weren't okay came from KG's own messages to her mom. In them, she admits she's been staying at the practice room well past midnight and tells her how drained she feels physically and mentally. In one text, she says, "I go from morning vocal lesson to lunch to 5-hour dance lesson to dinner to Pilates or physical therapy, then back to dance training till 10 to 11 p.m., adding, "I need help." In a different set of messages, KG opened up to her mom about how intense things had gotten. She said that even sitting down for just 5 minutes was enough enough to get them yelled at by Alex. If anyone tried to rest, Alex would show up, question why they weren't practicing, and then report it to the company, apparently to make herself look responsible. The pressure also extended to what the girls could eat. While they were in Korea, JYP pushed them to eat only the company-provided salads. Technically, it was optional, but the message was clear. Refusing would lead to disappointment or judgment. In a screenshot of a group chat conversation, one of the VCHA members mentioned that staff had asked if they were eating the salads. She admitted she usually did, but added that she had to eat other things too because the salads alone weren't enough to get through exhausting practice days. Still, with their schedules getting even longer, she said she was thinking twice about continuing with it. The girls also shared how they were tired of eating the same thing all the time and wanted a change. To make them feel guilty, the company reportedly told them that not eating the salads would be wasting food. Things got worse when Alex told the members that gaining weight would only make dancing harder. In another conversation, someone from the company said their performances were weak and lacked energy, blaming it on the fact that they were dieting too hard, as if they weren't the ones responsible for it. Then there were the comments from staff like Won Jong-ho, who basically told the girls things like, "Lose weight or you'll regret how you look," and on another occasion bluntly said, "Don't eat." These remarks left the members anxious about food and made them feel guilty for eating anything more than what they were told to. Every month, the company insisted on measuring the members' weights, despite none of them agreeing to it, making it feel like the company was more concerned about their weight than their actual health. KG shared a screenshot revealing a hurtful comment from a staff member. KG believed the remark was aimed at one of the girls who was already struggling with an eating disorder. At that time, she was so consumed by it that she couldn't even bring herself to eat after 5 p.m. JYP's control over KG seemed to go beyond just the physical, with emotional manipulation playing a huge role. This wasn't limited to KG alone, as another member took action in December 2023, drafting a statement for JYP to address how the girls were being treated and point out the company's inconsistent messages. In addition to that, earlier in September 2023, a translator reached out to the group privately, revealing that JYP might intentionally be withholding affection to keep the members from becoming spoiled before their debut. This only confirmed the girls' suspicions that the cold treatment was deliberate. One of the most shocking details uncovered in the court documents was the company's restriction on the members listening to or dancing to music from any other label besides JYP. The constant fear from the staff was so overwhelming that the girls were too scared to ask for schedule changes, a situation that deeply affected KG emotionally. If that wasn't enough, in August 2023, the company staff informed the members that their training was in critical condition, pressuring KG to push herself further even when exhausted or injured. The staff controlled nearly every aspect of their lives, forcing them to speak only in Korean, despite some of the members not being able to speak it very well, regulating what they said in interviews, and even dictating how they spent their free time and days off. Overall, the level of surveillance was shocking, as it appears the company had cameras set up in their LA home to monitor the girls. KG only realized this over time when a staff member made offhand remarks that revealed they were being watched, mentioning things that happened in the kitchen and dining area after the girls went to bed. She discovered that the camera was positioned directly across from the dining table, giving the company a clear view of everything they ate. Additionally, KG found a sticker on the pantry ceiling indicating that area was also being monitored, and she provided photos of the cameras as proof. As for her initial accusations that one of the members had been driven to hurt herself, it was revealed that in October 2023, KG became deeply concerned after noticing troubling signs in one of the members, including binge eating, vomiting, and rumors of self-harm. She suspected the member was struggling with an eating disorder, and even more alarmingly, that she had been using a lighter to hurt herself. This led to growing worry among the group. Tragically, this member eventually attempted to take her own life. KG kept evidence of the situation but chose not to reveal the member's identity, wanting to protect her privacy. Despite the severity of the issue, KG's attempts to seek help were dismissed. When she spoke to the studio teacher, he revealed that JYP staff had misled him, telling him the member was only ill. KG even had a recording of their conversation, which she said she could provide if needed. She also raised the issue with another staff member, Eunji Song, but was brushed off with a comment that eating disorders were normal. KG's own mental health had deteriorated to the point where she was missing school, overwhelmed by her struggles. She reached out to staff member Ji Won-sung, telling her that she was thinking about leaving the group. Later that day, she also opened up to another member about the emotional toll everything was taking on her. Through their conversations, it was clear that the entire group was feeling the weight of the situation, with everyone struggling to hold on to their sense of self and confidence. By February 2024, KG was facing a financial crisis. She discovered that she and the other members were buried in a growing unclear debt, with JYP offering no transparency or explanation. The mounting financial pressure only added to the stress she was already under, and she began to feel trapped, as if no matter how hard she worked, she would never be able to escape the burden. This eventually led to a Zoom meeting with the VCHA members and their parents, where the group discussed the toxic environment they were working in. The members openly admitted they were being mistreated and even considered leaving JYP together. Their parents, however, expressed concerns about the consequences of leaving, particularly given JYP's influence. After the meeting, most of the remaining members chose to stay, while KG made the decision to leave on May 19, 2024. On June 6, 2024, KG sent a text to an employee explaining that her decision to leave was based on her need to prioritize her mental health and happiness. She had no idea that this would lead to JYP threatening her with liquidated damages, which would prevent her from working, releasing music, acting, posting on social media, or using her talents to earn a living. The reason why KG prepared this declaration is that JYP had publicly accused her of making false and exaggerated claims while attempting to force the issue into private arbitration, so she wanted to show that whatever she was saying was 100% real. As of May 1st, the lawsuit is still ongoing and things aren't looking good for JYP USA. KG has presented evidence showing that the staff at JYP violated child labor laws by making the members work late hours. She also provided proof of the overwork, mistreatment, and inadequate nutrition the members faced, with the staff not only allowing but encouraging this behavior. JYP USA has yet to respond to any of the allegations, and at this point, it's hard to imagine any defense that would make them appear innocent in this situation.